Hello everybody, this is Andrew, also known as Nature Man. We are standing here with Pinus flexilis, the limber pine, most likely cultivar name Vanderwolf. This is a tree that you'll find native about 20 to 30 minutes that way, up in the mountains. If you look at the native range map, it cuts right through half of Boulder County, and you'll find them up in the foothills. So you'll go up in the mountains, you'll find lodgepole pine, ponderosa, subalpine fir, bristlecone. You'll find limber pines too. This species is very common in landscaping out here and is just in recent years becoming more common out east, like in Indiana. They have been proven to be more tolerable of our Indiana's high heat and humidity. That includes, even if you're on the East Coast, like New York City or up to Chicago. As long as you see winters that can see substantial below freezing temperatures. If you're down south, like in South Carolina, it's on the zone 7B, 8A, it might be a little iffy because you're going to need consistently cold temperatures. As if you see winters where you don't see any freezing weather, this tree's going to die. It's not like a loblolly pine in Florida. It does need dormancy period because it is native out west. But they are more tolerable of compacted clay soils, so they don't get chlorosis like the eastern white pine does. So they're actually a better choice for a lot of regions in the Ohio Valley, Midwest, Great Lakes than the eastern white pine, if you can plant it. They can get up to between 35 to 70 feet in height. Most likely they're going to stay in that 30 to 40 foot range by about 15 to 25 feet wide. Again, in their native habitat, they can get bigger. This tree is a monster. It's over 25 feet tall, so close to maturity. In Boulder, Colorado, they will not naturalize here, but you go up in the mountains 30 minutes that way, and the climate and the soils here are virtually identical, so it thrives here. This pretty much mimics its natural environment. But even out east, where it's a lot more humid, more moisture, they will do just fine. However, when you plant these, you just do not want a low, wet area. And people are like, well, I have clay soil. It doesn't matter if you have clay soil. Clay soil doesn't stay wet. Clay soil turns to rock in the right areas. You have it on a slope, or even just a slight slope or on a flat area, it's going to dry out. So limber pine will be just fine there. Up close of the limber pine, you'll see it kind of has a more silvery blue needle compared to the eastern white. Look at it, it resembles that of the eastern white pine. It gives the same kind of vibe, kind of a soft needle. It's not prickly. Even the branches are young branches are smooth like the eastern white pine. However, when you look at the bark, it looks more like cherry bark because of the way it splits. Eastern white pine does this, but usually not to this same extent of the limber pine. It's a little bit more dramatic on a limber pine when you get down on the older part of the trunk. But a good difference here, the needles are thicker. When you touch them, they're not as thin. If you ever touch the eastern white pine, then you touch a limber pine, you'll know what I'm talking about. They also have a much more thicker waxy deposit, which causes the silvery blue color, which adds more ornamental interest to the landscape. Summarizing what I just went through, this tree is hardy in USDA zones 3 through 7, tolerates high heat and humidity without an issue, compacted clay soils without getting chlorosis, good alternative to eastern white pine, very drought tolerant, and very, very disease resistant. Very optimal tree for the Midwest region as well as the Western United States of America. This is Nature Man signing off. Bye.